The environment is in a fragile state today, with heavy industrialization and massive deforestation. It may not be long before the world that we know will no longer exist as it is. But there are some things that we as individuals can do which will help in preventing that from happening, like recycling. And if saving the world is not motivation enough, you can also make money by recycling. Let's take a look at some of the things that pay to recycle. Number 21. Car tire. It is estimated that by 2035, there will be 2 billion cars in the world. And that means at least 8 billion tires, and increase the number for spare tires. And since all of us change tires every few years or so, that means a lot of discarded tires in the world. But it's pretty easy to recycle tires. All you have to do is tie it to a tree and you get a swing. But tire manufacturers and garages are also on the lookout for old tires, so you can give it to them as well, and they offer money in exchange also. Number 20. Tennis balls. Okay, so these are not something that all of us have lying around, but it does pose a serious concern. Tennis balls are made out of rubber, which is not biodegradable. And there are over 300 million tennis balls manufactured every year. But thankfully, new startups have emerged which take in old tennis balls and rebounce them so they can be used again, and they do pay for it. So if you take part in a tennis club, ask them to get in touch with these startups so we can keep that huge amount of rubber waste from reaching the dumps. Number 19. Corks. Many of us like to have a little wine with our food, and wine bottles usually come with a cork, but oftentimes we tend to throw it out. The next time you feel like doing that, don't. It might not make you rich, but with enough corks on hand, you could get a free bottle of wine. Many crafters and businesses have need for the corks, and they pay pretty well for them. Number 18. Paper. Newspapers, books, and magazines all come under the broad category of paper, and all of them are things that we use on a day-to-day basis, especially newspaper, as it tends to get accumulated a lot. But the good news is that these can be recycled. There are scrap dealers who buy back these items from you and even pay you for them. Number 17. Towels and beddings. Usually when the towels and beddings we use get old, they end up in the dustbin. But it actually makes sense not to throw them out. You can recycle them by cutting them up into small pieces and using them as dusting cloths. Or you can let your imagination run wild and make them into curious little artifacts like braided rugs. And they can be sold on sites like eBay to make you some money as well. Number 16. Hair. Those of us who don't have it will probably understand it. Having hair is a bigger deal than you think, and that's the reason why wigs and extensions are in so much demand. And yes, the hair used to make those has to come from somewhere, and the easiest way is the head of another human. And you can make a good amount of money if your hair is of the sufficient length and quality, so go ahead, get your hair recycled. Number 15. Printer cartridge. Even though digital has come a long way, it still has some way to go before it can replace paper. So that pretty much means that a lot of pages are still printed every day, and that means using a lot of printer cartridges. But there's some good news on that front. Many websites and stores are looking for old and used cartridges, and they pay you for them as well. Number 14. Water bottle. Since tap water is not something that many of us trust, and a water purifier is not something all of us can afford, bottled drinking water is in huge demand. Usually, a family consumes 4 to 6 bottles of water a day, and that accumulates to over 100 bottles every month. Returning these bottles is a way to save some money, as dealers often offer discounts if you do. Number 13. Clothes. Ever wonder what to do with all those old clothes that have tears and stains on them? Simple. You can recycle. There's really not much that can't pass as fashion, and you can go crazy and make some new clothes out of your old ones. Think of how the first pair of torn jeans came about. And what's more is that you can actually sell your funky designs on the internet without much investment as well. Number 12. Wooden furniture. We all need furniture, whether it's to sleep or to work. But, of course, from time to time, we feel like an upgrade or a change. So what to do with the old furniture? For starters, don't throw it away. Wooden furniture can be easily repaired and modified to sell on eBay, and there are enough and more buyers out there. So do think twice about throwing away old furniture. You could be throwing away money. Number 11. Sofas and mattresses. Either you yourself, or your pet, or your friends have made you discover what's inside sofas and mattresses. It's usually wool or cotton, and pretty soft material at that. But after a while, you kind of want a new one, but you can actually recycle them. All you have to do is take out the stuff from inside and stuff it in a smaller package and make a pillow out of them. And then you can, of course, go on various sites to sell them. Number 10. Canisters. Every month, we end up using a lot of canisters, in which oil and other commodities come in. It is pretty usual to throw them out and they end up taking unnecessary space in the house, but they are actually very much in demand and are the easiest things to recycle. Just give it to some scrap dealers and they'll pay you for the effort. Number 9. Fluorescent light bulbs. It may actually come as a surprise that fluorescent light bulbs which no longer work can be fixed. Yes, that's right. You can even go online and watch some do-it-yourself videos to learn how to fix these bulbs. And then they sell for almost half the original price. Or you can use it again in your homes as well and save the money of new light bulbs. Number 8. Aerosol containers. The containers in which sprays and beverages come in are actually very much in demand. You can just collect them and sell them to junk shops to get some value for them. Or you could go a step further and make some art with them. Who knows? If you're good, maybe you'll be able to turn in some neat little profit. Number 7. Waste food. While cooking, there are a lot of times where we end up with extra food, and that usually suffers the fate of hiding in the back of the fridge till it spoils. But even then, there's no need to throw it out. Organic waste, which food actually is a great way to make fertilizer. And no, you don't need a huge setup to do that. All you need to have is a vermicompost unit, and you can turn it into fertilizer right in your own home. And what's more, this kind of fertilizer is actually in great demand. Number 6. Used batteries. No, we're not talking about the pencil ones, we're talking about batteries in all types of cars. And also some homes, which use batteries to power their homes in case of a power cut. The used batteries are actually in demand in scrap metal yards and auto workshops. In fact, some car manufacturers offer gift cards as well in exchange for used and discarded batteries. Number 5. Cooking oil. Admit it, we all love to eat deep-fried stuff. They are delicious, to put it simply, but if you're in the habit of eating deep-fried stuff on a regular basis, chances are you have loads of used cooking oil which you want to get rid of. And throwing it down the drain is not really an option, is it? Thankfully, there are many recycling centers and biodiesel firms who need this oil, and they even pay a price for it. Even though it's not much, it's better than wondering how to dispose it. Number 4. Medicine foils. Medicines are in huge demand as almost every person in the world needs to take some at one point or another. But did you know that the foil that the tablets come in are actually made of aluminum? Yes, that's right, and considering that aluminum is a metal that is pretty much in demand, you can make some money off of those foils by selling it to scrap metal dealers. And what's more is you can actually use the foils to make something interesting and out of the box as well. Number 3. Pet fur. This might raise some eyebrows, but hey, anyone who has had a pet knows that they shed a lot. And that has us all wanting to just make shears and trim off their fur a little bit. As it turns out, you can actually make money out of it too. Animal fur, even of dogs, is actually used to make wool, and you can sell it for a nifty price in the market as well. Number 2. Gift cards. Usually around holidays, we get a lot of gift cards that are actually useless as we might not be able to end up in those places. So they do tend to get accumulated over time, but that doesn't mean that they lose their value even if the date goes by. These cards are usually made from PVC, and there are a number of outlets which take these cards and give cash in return. Number 1. Metal fittings. It is pretty common to use brass and copper in household items. From electrical wiring, leaky pipes, hinges, knobs, and others, these things around the house are usually made of copper or brass. And since they do get changed a lot, they're usually in good demand in the market. So before you throw off your old pipes and fittings, do get in touch with a scrap metal dealer, as they will surely pay you to take those away. Almost everything in and around the house can be reused or recycled. So don't waste your waste. And if you have any experience with making money by recycling, do let us know in the comments below. And remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on our videos.